Hey everybody, I'm Josh,
What's up, guys? I'm Ted.
and welcome to the first official episode of the brand new talk show, Nerds Make Sense.
Alright, so we got a little special thing for you guys here. So I came up with an idea since Since Broly came out, or what is it? When Broly got his new movie, making him canon, I came up with the idea thinking about what other characters, or villains actually, from the Dragon Ball Z movies, how can they become canon as well? So this is what a show I called Canon. So we're going to talk about a couple of villains, and we're going to debate by what we've seen from the movies and stuff, and can they hold their own in their own little canon movie in Super. So the first person we're going to talk about today is Janemba from Fusion Reborn.
And yeah, it's definitely an interesting character because, I mean, you don't really get a whole lot of introduction before we see him. You know, all it is you're in Otherworld, you see a bunch of purple ooze.
And then, we got Janemba.
Yeah, exactly. It's like all of a sudden, boom, there's Janemba.
And everyone just thought he was just going to destroy the universe. That was the first thought of anyone's mind.
Except for Goku, who was like the only one who thought he actually looked innocent. Which, is typical Goku. Always underestimating his opponents before he gets in a fight with them. I mean, there is a lot to Janemba for the short amount of time that we got to see him. He's obviously one of the strongest villains that we've ever seen in movie or show when it comes to Dragon Ball. Because he's sitting there able to take on Super Saiyan 3 Goku without a problem once he transforms into his Super Janemba form.
Yeah. I think they called him Janempa, the fat form. I don't know why. They called him Janempa, and then when he transforms Janemba, but other translations just call him Janemba in whole.
Well, yeah, but I've also seen some references to calling the slimmer, muscular form Super Janemba. Super Janemba. Yeah. One of the things that I immediately like about Janemba is that even though he's childish and in a similar sense to he's almost Majin Buu like.
Too much like Majin Buu.
Which would make sense because that's when the movie is taking place during the Majin Buu saga. Mm-hmm. Although the exact point is rather difficult to pin down where the movie takes place because you see Super Saiyan 3 and it's not the first time you see Super Saiyan 3 because Goku even mentions that the only other person who has made him go that far is Majin Buu.
It's pretty tricky too because supposedly from what I did my research, it said that after Goku, this movie takes place between after Goku fights Majin Buu and goes Super Saiyan 3 after he wastes his time and goes back to Otherworld. And then right before sometime when Gotenks is fighting Super Buu, because after that part, Goku finds out Gohan's not dead, and he's watching the whole thing unravel. Elder Kai gives him his life. He comes back, then Vegeta comes back, and then they become Vegito.
Yeah. But, the biggest issue I have with that is the fact that in the movie you see Goten and Trunks. They're fighting the, let's say, quote-unquote Nazis, because it's essentially what they're modeled after. They're zombie Nazis. Or Nazi zombies. Nazi zombies. Zombie Nazis. I'm an idiot. But they even mention that once, they actually feel Goku and Vegeta fuse into Gogeta, which is kind of weird because they don't feel them fuse into Veku. Mm-hmm. Or at least they don't mention it. No, shit. Excuse me. We'll have to edit that cough out. where was I? They feel Goku and Vegeta fuse into Gogeta, and then they immediately do the fusion themselves. So, and they do it perfectly, So it's obviously sometime after that original fusion fight with Super Buu. But the whole problem with that is everybody on Earth by that point is dead. Everybody that was at the lookout was turned into chocolate and eaten. Gohan was believed to be dead, but yet we see him hanging out at home with his mom and Videl earlier in the movie. So there's just a whole lot that they took liberties with in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point, because we're here to talk about Janemba himself.
Exactly. So one of the issues I have with Janemba about how he can make his own movie, because as you see with Broly is still Broly. He's
Yeah, he's still nuts.
Yeah, he's still nuts. I mean, he's not like as quiet, I guess you could say, in the trailer, because he's screaming and stuff like usual. But the thing about Broly is Broly's still Broly. So with Janemba, I feel like there's a lot of connection to Majin Buu, because it is during the arc. So like you got Janemba, the first form, I guess you want to call it the fat one, where he's innocent and playful, and he's clapping and laughing and everything. He thinks everything's a joke. He's just messing around. It sort of like reminds me of Majin Buu.
Oh, yeah.
And even after he's defeated, he becomes, I guess, Janemba or Super Janemba, whatever you want to call him. And then that's sort of just like Kid Buu in a sense as well.
Yeah, it's like Kid Buu in Super Buu's body.
If you actually look at it this way and say that I don't even know what to call it actually, the evil energy that blew up around the servant helper in hell, I don't know what his name was either. The one that became Janemba.
I don't think he ever had a name.
Yeah, if you think about him, his innocence taking over the evil energy, and that's why he was so carefree, and then Goku defeating that is defeating the innocence inside of him, and then the pure evil taking over. That's the Buu saga in the whole.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. It's just like, if you ever want a quick review of the Majin Buu saga, watch Fusion Reborn.
Yeah.
It's almost...
Fast forward. There's fusion in it. There's stuff that happens.
Which, surprisingly, not many people know is Gogeta was actually was an original creation by Akira Toriyama. It's what he wanted to... I don't know if he wanted to do the same thing with the whole fusion dance, or if it's what he planned on naming the Patora fusion of Goku and Vegeta. But when the movie came out, before that section of the anime came out, he had to quickly change the name into Vegito. So I would, at least that's the story that I've heard. But getting back to Janemba's, we've quickly covered just about everything there is to know about Janemba. I mean, he's able to manipulate essentially the universe into whatever he wants. Because he sits there and he creates this barrier around the check-in station. That's, that for some reason is not immune to insults, but is immune to just about everything else. But apparently it can't handle being insulted.
Yeah, the thing about that is that I'm not sure Janemba can control everything like you said. I don't because it's not explained, because a movie's a movie. They only have a certain gap of time to explain things. That's why from the start of the movie it seems like it's just like bang 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 explosion. Janemba.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you see when Goku and Janemba first fall to hell, Janemba's still in his first form, he actually touches several of the frozen
the
population of hell,
whatever,
and he turns them into mini versions of Janemba, of himself. and from there, they proceed to attack and fight Goku. But another point is after he transforms into Super Janemba, he finds one of the clubs from the attendants to Hell, and he transforms it into his signature sword. So he is able to manipulate matter, at least to some extent.
Physical mass manipulation, I guess. But that's the thing, like, because from what I take from the movie is Janemba could do all that in Hell. But is it like a Freddy Krueger thing? Like, he can do that in Hell, but what if he did that in the real world? Will that happen? I mean, I don't know if he'll be the same exact. I mean, I'm pretty sure other than the physical mass manipulation, he has the powers of dimension tearing, I guess you could say. He can just open dimensions and go through them,
Right, as evidenced by him being able to sit there and punch in one direction and opens up a portal and nails Goku from the opposite side.
Yeah, so I don't know if all of his powers would be like that out of Hell. Because if you notice, he used everything in Hell, Because that's where it took place, yes, but it was everything he touched that he already created.
But it wasn't.
So is that an extension of himself, or is that actually manipulating other objects?
But it wasn't only in Hell, because he starts creating barriers and manipulating stuff while he's sitting on top of the check-in station as well, which isn't in Hell.
Okay, well, not Hell, Otherworld. So in Otherworld. So if it was in Otherworld, is that the only way he can do all that? It's like, because it was just clearly that, because now the real world wasn't affected other than Hell being lucky enough to...
everybody dead coming back to life.
The checkout station was blocked off, so that's why everyone came back to life. But you didn't see any of that branch over into the real world, like the crystallization or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and that's very true. But like you said, basically Janemba never got that far, so we don't know the full extent of his powers.
Yeah, so
which is another reason why it makes him so enticing as a potential next villain, if they decide to go that way.
They're gonna have to separate the whole. Because the thing about him is that I don't think he'll be able to stand by himself in a movie, because he has so much of Majin Buu there, and if they take out the Majin Buu, and they're gonna have to write something else, then he won't be Janemba anymore. They might as well just make a new character, because if you make him talk, that's not Janemba. We all know who Janemba is. Pure evil.
Well, okay.
Just like Kid Buu was pure evil.
But remember, when he was in his first form, he did. I mean, he repeated his name over and over.
Talking.
But I mean, we've had other characters like that, though, that have just repeated their. I mean, essentially, he was like a glorified Pokemon, but
yeah, but
who's that Pokemon?
But the thing with Janemba,
it's Janemba.
Because the thing with Janemba is that you can't change too much of him, or he won't be Janemba anymore. You won't even have to canonize him. You could just make a whole new villain for a whole new movie.
Yeah,
that's not going back to that. Because everything other than the dimension teleportation and the mass manipulation, he has all the same things as Boo. He has regeneration. And he has a stupid weakness, but he getting screamed at. And how are you going to be the evil incarnate and then get screamed at and then break apart? So,
but remember, it wasn't Janemba himself that was getting screamed at. It was just simply the barrier he created.
Tapion screamed at him and he broke. Yeah, when he
Tapion, you mean Pycon?
Pycon, yeah, Tapion.
Tapion's the wrong movie.
My bad. It doesn't matter.
That's the giant cockroach.
They both don't matter. But Pycon screamed at Janemba while he was fighting, and his face and torso broke apart, and you could see through him. So it still works on him. That made no sense. And if you want to put that in a canon, then just them powering up is gonna hurt him.
Yeah.
Because other than that, the regeneration's there. He can regenerate himself. Majin Buu could transform stuff into chocolate. I mean, that's not the same thing, but other than that, they're basically the same, other than the sword.
Yeah.
And attacks, but they're basically the same character. So they're going to have to dig hard and deep, but this might as well just make a new character.
I don't know. I honestly think that bringing him back, they could do some things with him. Like one possibility is they could bring him back as a potential way to elevate Boo as a character. You know, they both have like we've said throughout this episode, they both have very similar powers. Mm-hmm. They're very similar characters. You know, you could basically, I mean, I doubt it'll ever happen because why would anybody ever make a Dragon Ball movie that's not centered around Goku? Mm-hmm. I mean, even when the dude's dead, he still gets the freaking spotlight.
Mm-hmm. He does.
BoJack, Fusion Reborn. Let's see what else. But I mean, it could be a way to kind of, you know, highlight the way Boo has changed over the years. You know, Janemba, in a sense, could represent everything that was evil about him. I mean, obviously, he wouldn't be Boo. I'm saying he would still be Janemba. He still would be pure evil. You could even use a similar creation event, you know, where somebody accidentally unleashes all the pure evil in the world, and it forms into the evil being Janemba.
Isn't that Dead Zone or Garlic Jr.? Didn't that happen?
No, that's Dead Zone's a little different. I mean, we never actually see what's inside Dead Zone. As far as we know, it's just like emptiness.
No, what about the one where everyone became evil?
Well, that was the Garlic Jr. saga.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like Garlic Jr. saga. Where everyone becoming evil.
No, you wouldn't have everybody become evil. You would have like the essence of evil coming together, forming Janemba, and then you get to see how he would come to Earth. You know, maybe we realize a little bit more about the extent of his powers. You know, we see if he has the ability to manipulate matter outside of Otherworld.
Yeah.
And you could then use Boo as like maybe the first fight, in a way to elevate the character beyond the slapstick humor that he was in Super.
Yeah, I don't think Boo's ever gonna have it because Boo's chance was the Tournament of Power to do anything for himself.
Yeah. One thing I don't remember, did Boo retain his slim form after all of that?
We never see.
I don't think we ever see him again at the end.
Unless it was in like the end credits when they're showing like the flash forward, I guess.
But that can be like a kind of cool thing. Like you have Fat Janemba who shows up on Earth. And then you have Fat Boo going after him, and they're just, you know, kind of playfully swatting at each other for a while, and they all think it's just good fun. Then all of a sudden, you know, Boo, maybe he lands a punch one too hard. It pisses off Janemba, and he goes Super Janemba, and Boo's like, ooh, I can do it too! Or some shit like that. You know, that would be cool or funny. And it would elevate the character of Boo. It would show some progression in his... in his ability, but it would also bring, you know, it would be a decent way to bring Janemba back. Now, whether or not Janemba could ever even come close to either one of the two Saiyans that we know can go Super Saiyan Blue, whether that how they would address that fact.
Well, that's the thing. Another thing about that, talking about Super Saiyan Blue, is that in the movie Janemba, which is another reason why I feel like, because for me, I like Janemba, but there was a lot of stuff that didn't make sense. Because as a kid, we let a lot of stuff go by because we're like, oh, that's so cool. Like for instance, Goku went Super Saiyan 3 against Janemba, the fat one first, right?
Right.
Easy win. Just it was like a couple mixed punches and then whatever double volley.
Yeah, and then he did the
and he was done. And then Goku seen that Janemba transformed, and he fought him. You know, he was fighting him. He was winning a little bit, and then until the mass manipulation came in and the teleporting came in, and Goku didn't know how to fight. So my thing is with that is that Goku knew he probably had a chance because he was fighting back. You know, so what that whole scene right there is showing is that Goku fought him, and then Goku lost. You can say Goku lost or didn't finish the battle, but Goku ran away. Goku was running. You don't see that a lot from Goku.
Yeah, he was getting his ass handed to him, though.
Yeah, so...
Until Vegeta showed up.
With that, it's not even till... They both got their ass handed after that. But the thing about that is that a lot of people remember Janemba for beating Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Because if you think about it, as a kid, we seen it happen. He was there for, I think, a couple of episodes when he fought Majin Buu. Then he was gone. We didn't see him. And I think I wrote it down. It's like for... from that episode to the next time we see Super Saiyan 3 Goku, it's about 39 episodes in the anime till we see Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Right, when he fights Kid Buu on the planet
exactly.
of the Kais.
So when they made the movie and they threw Super Saiyan 3 in there as kids, we didn't know the time, by the way. The movie came out 3 years later after that part happened in the anime. But as kids, we didn't know that. The movie came out just when we didn't, time passes. We don't know as kids. But, so, Janemba beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So I feel like that's one of the only reasons that people like Janemba, I guess, because he beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku so easily, where Majin Buu couldn't even beat him at all. And also that doesn't make sense if you think about it, because when Goku powered up, he shook the world. In the movie, he shook the world.
Well, yeah, he shook the
world.
The entire other world.
But when Janemba powered up, he shook the whole other world and the world. So, would that mean that Janemba's stronger than Super Saiyan 3? In your opinion?
Well, I mean, obviously, he proved that when he transformed into Super Saiyan, or Super Janemba. And he beat the living tar out of Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
Okay, so you would say that Janemba is stronger?
Yeah, than Super Saiyan 3. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, see, this is where it doesn't make sense for me.
I would also say Kid Buu is stronger than Super Saiyan 3 as well.
Yeah, but see, this is where it doesn't make sense for me as an adult watching this show, I guess you could say, is that in the anime, when after Vegito got absorbed, or got eaten, or whatever you want to call it, I think he was absorbed by Majin Buu, and they went inside of him. When they found out where everyone was being held at, Majin Buu, Super Buu, found out that, they're inside of him, so he came inside himself, I guess, if that makes any sense. So
I'm going to watch the way you word that.
I don't know. He became one inside himself. I don't know how you expect. He was inside himself.
Yeah, he was.
And he showed himself, and Goku said, or someone said in that episode, that was the true form of Super Buu. Goku was in a panic and threatened that if he came any closer, that he'll blow a hole out to escape out of fear. So Goku knew Super Saiyan 3 there, right? He never met Super Buu other than watching it on the big screen in the crystal ball, right?
Yeah.
So if Goku goes Super Saiyan 3 and he went toe to toe with Majin Buu, and this is a Super Buu, this isn't Buu-Tank's Bukalo Buhan. But he was so scared.
Those are not official names, by the way.
It is. The fans know.
The fans know.
You're right, fans? Am I right? But he was so scared at that point. Or not scared. He threatened to blow a hole to escape. With Super Saiyan 3 under his belt.
Yeah.
So, you're telling me that he would fight Janemba without even thinking. Just straight up fight Janemba, who is stronger than him. But he wouldn't fight Super Buu when he had that under his belt.
Well, here's the thing. Because of the time by the time he'd been absorbed, he'd already been given his life back by Elder Kai. He'd essentially taken Goku's death onto himself and granted Goku life again. So, by being back in the real world, even though he was inside of Buu's body or stomach or whatever...
Chambers.
He knew that the Super Saiyan 3 form had limits outside of Otherworld. So, while yes, he had it as his trump card, he knew he could only do it for a short amount of time. Because if you remember, even by the time of Dragon Ball Super, he still says he can only maintain the form of Super Saiyan 3 for a short period of time. Now, mind you, it's most likely a bit longer than from when he fought Buu, because he had done quite a bit of training since that time. But the form is such a power draw that the only way he was able to maintain it in the other world was because of the fact that he was dead already.
Yeah, but so you're telling me that Goku would risk fighting Janemba, even though he was dead in Super Saiyan 3?
Well, he had no other choice. It was either do that or let as far as he knew, let...
So you think Goku didn't have any other choice than go Super Saiyan 3 and try to fight it while Vegeta was there with him to get the other ones out?
But he didn't know Vegeta was there at first.
Vegeta
didn't show up.
No, what do you mean? They're both inside of him. How do you not know he's there?
Oh well, I mean he didn't know.
Goku.
Well, he knew Vegeta's limits too.
But he knew that he could hold off Super Buu because he already held it off Majin Buu for the time being. He fought multiple Majin Buus. If you think about it, he made himself into multiple Majin Buus and fought Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So you're telling me Goku couldn't handle?
I think that was only in Xenoverse. I don't think that ever happened in the anime.
I swear he fought Majin Buu.
Yeah, I know he fought Majin Buu, but I don't think Majin Buu ever separated himself. I think that only happened in the video game.
But I think Goku could have handled himself for the time being, while Vegeta blasted a hole and got everyone out of there, and then he followed right afterwards. So you're telling me Goku could have did that with help of Vegeta, but he will risk.
But then that would have left him completely drained for when they finally got out. And he would have been.
But who did they meet after that part? Kibito Kai, who could do what? Regenerate their health and their ki. Because they were already on the way to go pick up everybody. So you're telling me Goku will risk being dead fighting this guy who's stronger than him and risk being wiped out? Because, you know, when you die in Otherworld, you're gone. Than doing that. See, that's what makes no sense with Janemba. So if Janemba is that strong and Goku fought him either way.
Is that whole death in Otherworld, is that ever actually established?
When Kid Buu was teleporting to planet looking for Goku and Vegeta, and they were fighting it, I'm pretty sure it was referenced that if you die here, it's done overall.
Okay.
Because that's the only reason why Krillin was fighting. Other than that, Krillin would have been chilling. And Yamcha was fine. You know, if Yamcha's fine, something's happening. But yeah, see, that's what I think about Janemba that confused me the most. As a kid, you see it as, oh, he beat Super Saiyan 3. That's crazy. But if you watch the anime and you see him he's like, oh, dude, I'll blow us up right now to get us out of here. But he had Super Saiyan 3. That's what my thing with Janemba is. Like, I know it's just a movie. We'd have enough time to progress how strong he is.
Yeah.
But
and that's the biggest problem. I think honestly, if they were to try to make him canon again, he would have to have an arc in the show if the show gets revived.
Yeah.
Because the thing is you've got to have enough time to flesh out these characters.
I don't even think an arc will be needed. I mean, the whole Fusion Reborn movie was sort of if you took that whole part out of the Super Saiyan 3 fight and then just had the movie, it wouldn't have picked up to the end, right? So if you took out the Nazis and the whole Otherworld dead thing and Frieza coming back to get one shot by Gohan of all people, if you took all that out and then just put in actual plot stuff there, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have to have an arc for it. I mean, there might be, Toriyama was like that, but I don't think you would have a thing like that. I don't think Toriyama would have to make an arc for Janemba if they would have just took out all those nonsense things that was basically copy and paste over and over. There was the Hitler thing. There was Goten and Trunks dodging the missiles over and over again, going from Super Saiyan out of Super Saiyan. The whole Frieza thing.
They did drop out of Super Saiyan to transform into, or did they? Didn't
no, if you watched it again, when Hitler was shooting the missiles at them, they were regular. But then when they dropped back down, they were Super Saiyan. But when they flew back up, they were out of Super Saiyan. So I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I don't know.
But a lot of it was just copy and paste. If you just took all that out, and then just doing a plot and storyline, this is Janemba. He's from all the evil. Fear me. That you don't need an arc for that.
Maybe, instead of just creating Janemba, you could have, multiple enemies created from the essence of pure evil. And you have...
Like minions?
Yeah, yeah. And then, you have Janemba in, a first form, but maybe he is, portly, maybe he's a big guy, but he's not, super huge and fat like he was in the movie. But maybe you have something more along the lines like... You have Janemba that's created. You have his minions that are created as well, and then you you have the lesser characters. I don't want to call them lesser characters, but that's essentially what they've been relegated to. So you have like Goten and Trunks.
The Z Fighters. There's the name.
The Z Fighters. Yeah. I don't think I think they called themselves that like once in the anime, and it never happened again. But it's like the narrator called them that several times. Mm-hmm. But anyways, what I was saying, you have like Goten and Trunks, fight fuse and fight a minion, and you have Gohan fight a minion, you have Piccolo fight a minion, like you get a minion, you get a minion, you get a minion.
I feel like
as they defeat the minions though, they become part of Janemba, and it furthers him towards his transformation into the Super Janemba that we know. And that's when, it forces Goku and Vegeta, or just Goku, to, elevate himself to some new power level or something like that. Or
I feel like if Janemba did become canon, they should just get rid of the first form. I feel like.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying. You give him a new first form.
Or not even. I don't even think they should give him a new first form.
Because you don't want to throw in like the awesome looking final Super Janemba form right away. You want to tease people with that potential. Maybe he doesn't even call himself Janemba right away.
But the thing is because with all the Majin Buu similarities, if they just got rid of that, then that will probably fix it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is you don't.
And they don't need to show his face. They don't need to show his face at all. They could fight the thing, and they could be Shadow, and then when all of them disappeared, then he will come as Janemba in some shape or form. But with all the similarities to Majin Buu and everything, I feel like if they cut that'll probably be better for them. Because then a lot of people are going to get mad that, it's just another Majin Buu clone.
Yeah,
it's another arc of Battle of Gods retelling.
And see, that's the thing is going back to that too. You have, mind you, Frieza had his movie, but Frieza was already established. We already knew who Frieza was. We knew where he was coming from. But when we first got introduced to Beerus, it was in the movie Battle of Gods. We didn't know much about him, but they focused on him. They focused on introducing who he was, what he was about, what he did, and why he was going to Earth, why he was looking for the Super Saiyan God. And yeah, we only got a taste of his true power, but it was well established in the movie how strong he was. So, it could definitely be a possibility that they could do a movie, but I honestly think it would be better fleshed out with a full story arc.
So you're saying that Janemba would be downgraded from moving to just a regular character in the show?
I mean, it wouldn't be the...
Then they should just make a new character. They should just make a new character.
But I mean, I think if you're gonna go the
just think how tournament power is. There's a lot of characters from there. There's a lot of characters on there that are in some shape or form characters from the movies or other show. Just for like the universe with all the robots, I forgot the universe. That was said to be based off of Giru.
Okay, I can see that.
So, if they do that, then if Janemba became a villain in the show, you might as well just strip everything. If you want to keep how he looks, keep him how he looks. Then they'll be like, oh, that's from Fusion Reborn. That's Janemba. But you might as well just write a new character at that point. Because there's a lot of stuff adding up to Majin Buu, for him being Majin Buu. If you just take the first form out, throw that away, you can make him talk and give him a backstory like he's been there for years. You could take away that, you make him talk, take away that he just grunts, throw that away. You could change his color scheme, throw that away. Then you just have a whole new character. You might as well. Because another big thing about Janemba, there's a lot of people only know Janemba is because he got beat by Gogeta.
Yeah, and that's true too.
Because when I watched the movie, I just wanted to fast forward when Gogeta was there. That whole first part is done. I don't even have to have the movie. I just go on YouTube, type in Gogeta. That's the only thing I looked for. When I was researching, I typed in Janemba, Gogeta popped up.
Yeah.
So, and then if the rumors and spoilers around Xenoverse and the Broly movie come true, and Gogeta is in Broly's movie, if that comes full circle, I know it's just rumors and stuff, but if it's sort of looking like
it's looking more and more plausible all the time.
Then Gogeta can't be in Janemba's movie if they do make it into a canon. Because my reasoning is that when Vegito came back in Super, Toriyama didn't have him in the original script for Super. When he did an interview for the Dragon Ball Super manga, he said that it was only because he wanted to feed the expectations of the readers. That's forced. That's not. He's like, oh, good idea. Let's just Vegito can come back right now, and that's just like, I guess I can throw Vegito in there. So if they were to do that in Broly's movie and have Gogeta in there, and then pull him and then put him in the Janemba movie, that's just getting rid of the wow factor. Just like Ultra Instinct, people think that Goku has Ultra Instinct now. They think he could just, oh, don't worry, Goku just gets pushed to his limits, he'll go Ultra Instinct. That's not how it works. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Himself the last time
that's not how I think Toriyama made Ultra Instinct to work. Ultra Instinct was just, it was 45 minutes of Goku getting pounded into the ground, and then all of a sudden this new form came out until he mastered it. It's not, and that's like constant. There's no breaks, in the Tournament of Power. So I don't think like Gogeta will come back in Janemba's movie. So if Gogeta don't come back in the movie, you gotta one up Gogeta. How are you gonna one up Gogeta? If this movie does good in Broly and Gogeta's in there, you can't one up. You can't one up Gogeta. You have Gogeta Fusion Reborn, Broly Gogeta, and then you have that's a ladder. So if you don't have Gogeta as an antagonist in that, you better fuse Super Saiyan Blue Evolution with Ultra Instinct or something, to have someone to beat Janemba like that. And then at that point, you might as well just make it into a show, and then have Vegeta have his moment, Goku have his moment separately. Just make a whole new character.
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure no one would think of Janemba that way unless Gogeta was there.
Right, yeah, and you've got you do have some good points. I'll give you that one. I do realize that it would be difficult, but I mean, I do see how it is plausible. Yeah, but you would have to change up things significantly.
Mm-hmm. Because like, as doing research for Janemba, I found out that he was in a bunch of Dragon Ball Z games, obviously.
Right.
And one of them,
basically in every game.
I think it was the PSP game. I didn't write it down.
Beyond Budokai 2 or something like that.
I don't think I wrote it down. But anyways, the Janemba had a whole arc in the Dragon Ball Z game where he was the main villain again, and supposedly, I don't know. I want to say it's canon. I guess because it's an off-brand game, not an off-brand game, but it's it's not a main thing. So for instance, going with Janemba's dimension things, he brought people back from the dead, like Cell and Frieza, and not only did he bring them back from the dead, he gave them more power than they had before. So that's something you could touch on too. I mean,
it's almost kind of like the whole fusion thing that Boo was able to do with some of them in one of those games.
Yeah,
if you remember that. Mm-hmm. Well, which one was that?
You mean when he absorbed them?
Yeah, he absorbed like Cell, and he became Majin Cell.
I think that was like
Majin
Budokai.
Frieza.
I think that was Budokai 3.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you had to do inputs for it. But see, the thing about that is cool is because in the final scene of Fusion, not final scene.
I think it was Budokai 2 that they did that when you were able to move around on the.
That was
it was like a board.
Oh yeah, okay, maybe it was.
Yeah,
maybe
then,
okay.
And then as Majin Buu got close to one of them, he would absorb them. And then if you fought them, it would be like Majin Cell or Majin Frieza.
Yeah, I remember playing that with Gohan because to unlock one of them, you had to play as Gohan fighting that new Cell, and that sucked. Yeah, but the thing, one of the final scenes in Fusion Reborn is when Super Gogeta became the real one, not Veku.
Yeah.
You see Janemba let off this huge, right? Like huge power increase, and then Gogeta's like, that's not happening, and then punched him a bunch of times and used his own energy against him.
Yeah. Because
we don't know how strong that made Janemba. In this game, Janemba's over here tearing people up, dude. And he came to the part to where he was beaten multiple times, like his body was gone.
Yeah.
So if you remember the movie, the purple smoke that surrounded him.
Yeah.
Supposedly in that game, that was Janemba looking for a host. So you can get rid of it, sort of like Zamasu. You can get rid of his body, but he's still there until he finds a new host. Not only till good energy supposedly would kill him, will that all disappear in all realms. So that's something you can go with too if you wanted to make him canon.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you'll have to take a lot of stuff from a game. But at the end, Toriyama's Toriyama. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could buy the game and then say, "This is my idea."
Exactly.
I am smart.
It's essentially what he's doing with Broly.
Yeah.
I'm not to say that that's a bad thing, because I definitely do think that bringing Broly into canon after everything that happened with Super is a great idea. You know, and the fans want it, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Because we've seen other videos online where people have just gone nuts at the announcement of the fact that it is Broly that is going to be the main villain of the new movie.
I almost left work. I remember pulling up my phone, seeing the YouTube thing. I was like, I gotta go, guys. I don't feel good. But yeah, I'm not. It's difficult for Janemba to become canon.
Yeah.
But it could happen. But the steps to doing so, you might as well just make a new character. And then say, oh, this is a reference for Janemba. I mean, give him everything Janemba had. Pure evil incarnate, you know. And give him a sword. I mean, yeah, the sword was cool. I mean, he almost gave Super Saiyan 3
Although
a buzz cut.
I think everybody's kind of done with swords after the whole Trunks thing.
Oh yeah. Never mind. Forget the sword. It's stupid.
Because I mean, but one of Janemba's coolest attacks wasn't even with the sword. It was the finger thing where he made the
glass,
the glass or diamond shots that he did.
Dude, that would be so
that
cool.
Was
that was
so
him
awesome.
Breaking dimensions and shading with. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, yeah, dimension rift glass.
Yeah. And then of course, you know, one of the other coolest things was actually the first form Janemba. When Goku fired his big super Kamehameha, and then Janemba just made a copy of him that was stronger.
Yeah, and it went through Goku's, yeah.
And Goku's just dazed, like, huh?
Another thing I like, it's not even like that crazy of a move, is the mouth beam, I guess you could say, that Janemba did.
Oh, yeah, Super Janemba. Yeah.
Because you don't see that anymore. I mean, Nappa did it once, right?
Yeah, Nappa
Piccolo
did it once. There are a few other characters that have done it here and there, but I mean, it's not a big thing in
Doggy. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know the other Namek from Universe 6 did it too against Gohan.
Did they do it?
Yeah, they did it when the Tournament of Power when Gohan was fighting the Namekians with a Kamehameha, like sort of like Cell beam struggle, and I think his name was Purina, something like that. Yeah, but he used a mouth blast, and I really think those are underrated because everyone uses their hands for blasts now. I mean, I think it's a little cool factor.
Right, and you know, another thing too is, you know, they added a little bit of and we're getting way off topic here, but who cares?
No, we're not. We're talking about a move.
Different ways we could potentially, but another thing that they did in the Tournament of Power was they actually demonstrated multiple other ways that people can manipulate key blasts. Mm-hmm. You know, like you had the one from the Trio de Dangers who did it with his feet instead of his hands, which was something we haven't seen since Goku did the Kamehameha wave with his feet back in Dragon Ball.
What's his name did it too? Kaba.
Did Kappa do it too?
Yeah, he did it.
I don't remember Kappa doing it.
It's rather when it's before or after he went Super Saiyan 2.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know. Shout out to Dokkan Battle. When you awaken him, he does the feet blasting. So
really? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't unlocked him in Dokkan Battle yet. Yeah. I'm a little behind.
But yeah, those are a lot of cool things you can do with Janemba. But for me, in my opinion, in my argument.
So okay, hold on. Before you say it, let's pose the question: can Janemba canon?
I don't think so.
No, you really don't think you want to?
I think there's too many similarities to Majin Buu. There's a lot of without Gogeta, you won't have the same outcome of the movie that a lot of people rely on. Gogeta was even though it wasn't focusedly around him, Gogeta was the star of that. And with everything that's going with, making Janemba something, you might as well just make a new, like I said, you might as well just make a new character that's Janemba-esque, and then just not have a repeat, Because the thing with Broly is still Broly. He's still insane. He's still crazy. He's still strong.
Well, as far as we can tell, you see him going a little bit berserk in the trailers.
I don't think he's
but we haven't. There's no confirmation that he's just completely complete psychopath like he was in the original 3 movies.
But I don't think he's gonna be speaking high IQ either. So, but he's still.
We might get surprised by that because, like I said, they changed up a lot.
My final verdict is that I don't think Janemba can be canon without fixing a lot, but by fixing a lot and taking those steps, just make a new character.
Yeah. So the final verdict for today's episode is today's canon episode is: can Janemba become canon? Yes, but with a lot
Too
of
much
help.
work to go out.
It would just take. It would just. To be honest, it would be better off just creating a new character.
Just have a new arc, new villain.
Yep, and make him Janemba-esque, just like my partner over there said, and then go from there.
But the big thing is just let us know in the comment section. That's just my opinion. I mean, I still think you can do it, but just the steps, with all that work you have to do, just make a new character. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think Janemba can be canon, just like without Gogeta? If Gogeta's in Broly's movie without Gogeta at all, like how? What do you guys think that Janemba can do differently? Just let us know.
Yeah, so please, let us know what you think down in the comments. And if you like this episode, please like, subscribe, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you liked about it. Let us know what you didn't like. And until the next episode, we're the nerds trying to make sense.
And we love you.
See you later.